Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing well and you had a wonderful weekend. I did. It was a special Mother's Day for me, and both of my kids really celebrated it. And I just hope you had your own wonderful celebrations within your family. All right. I want to start off. I want to try to start off our weeks with our today's dates a little different. So every Monday, I'm going to give you just a quote that I feel that inspires me and that I would like to share with you in hopes of inspiring you as well. So while I write it out, I'm going to play a little bit of tune for you. Okay. Isn't that wonderful? That is the quote to get this week started off. It's just something that inspires me nearly every day. A person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. So I can encourage you this week. Think about things you want to try, and try it, or at least start doing something in that direction. Because you'll never know if you're going to be able to succeed unless you try. All right, y'all ready for today's date? All right, let's get the papers out. All right. Monday's today's date. All right, for our day, we have 2.5 times 3.2 minus 4 plus 7. For our day, we have the square root of 121, and that's divided by 1 to the third. And lastly, for our year, kind of leave this pretty simple here. 3/4 x equals 15. Because sometimes you're just going to have a fraction for that coefficient for the x. All right, go ahead and take some time and work these out. All right, let's go ahead and work them out. So right here, I'm so used to having a variable, but there's no variable in these parentheses. I can simplify these two numbers right here, 3.2 minus 4. Now I'm using these decimals because that's probably one of the most that's the most difficult arithmetic, is to add and subtract decimals, besides fractions, of course. So I'm looking at these two numbers and I am taking away more than what I have. There's a big airplane going over my head right now. Oh, there's a roof in between. 3.2 minus 4. So I automatically know that my answer is going to be negative, okay? But I'm going to have to take the 3.2 away from the 4 to see how far in the negative I actually am. So 4, I've got one place after the decimal here, so I'm going to add one place after the decimal for my 4, and I'm going to subtract the 3.2. Okay, I don't have anything in my tenths place, so I could take away 2, so I need to create that. So I'm going to take away a 1 right here, and that 1 is going to turn into 10 tenths. Now I've got, oh, I'm sorry, I got to fix my 3. 10 minus 2 is 8, so I have 0.08, and that's what goes in the parentheses. I can copy everything else down. 2.5 times negative 0.8 plus 7. All right. So now I'm going to do my multiplication right here. 2.5 times the negative 0.8. I already know that my answer is going to be negative, okay? I already know. So I may even, I'm going to go ahead and put that right here, and I'm going to bring down my plus 7. So my answer is going to go right there after I multiply. All right, let's see if I can kind of separate this work. 2.5, 0.8. It does not matter if you line up any digits. Whenever you go to multiply this, I usually like to put the smaller value on the bottom when I go to multiply. That way I only have one digit that I've got to cross multiply. I have two place values after the decimal. So in this number I have 1. In this number I also have 1. So altogether I've got 2. That's going to be very important later. But for now I'm just going to multiply. I'm not going to pay attention to the decimals. 5 times 8 is 40, so 0. I carry that 4. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus the 4 is 20. Again, I have two place values, so from here I need to make sure the last two digits are going to be after the decimal. So actually I've got 2.00 is the same thing as 2. So I'm going to put that right there. So I have negative 2 plus 7. I guess I need to write this down here. Negative 2 plus 7. And again, this is a similar situation up here. Well, similar but opposite. I am adding more than what I have in the negative. So my answer is going to be positive, and 7 minus 2 is 5. So there is today's month. That was a nice little review for some of you. All right, the next one, let's do some squares again. The square root of 121. Well, we know the square root of 100 is 10, so let's just go one up. And 11 times 11 will be a great candidate, and when you multiply that out, it works. There's 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. When I add, I got 121, so that's it. So the square root of 121 is 11. Now, 1 times 3. 1 times 1 times 1. Anytime you multiply anything by 1, you get that number, right? So 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 1 is 1. So no matter what the exponent is, if your base is 1, your answer's 1. So 11 over 1 equals 11. So there's today's day. And lastly, we've got our year. Again, I kept this one kind of small. We're still doing the same stuff that we were doing on the other problems. This is 3/4 x equals 15. We have a denominator of 4, so we multiply the whole equation by 4. So if I switch the 4 into 3, I have 4 over 4 here, which is 1. So I'm just left with 3x. And then on this side, 15 times 4. The 5 times 4 is 20. So I've got 60. 3x equals 60. I'm going to divide both sides by 3 because 3 over 3 is 1. So I'm just left with x. And 60 divided by 3 is 20. So there is our year. All right, that's today's date for you. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see you again tomorrow.